Hello, I'm Emma Howard and I'm joined by Dr. Jonty Heaversedge, who's an expert on men's health problems. Hello, Jonty.
Hi, Emma.
Question here from a 35-year-old man having problems maintaining an erection, and he wants to know if Viagra is his best option.
Okay, the answer to that is probably unlikely. At 35, I can understand why he's concerned, and it's certainly something he needs to be going in and talking to his GP about. Although it's an embarrassing problem, it's actually incredibly common. And I think, given his age, it's quite unlikely there's a physical cause behind it. And I think a lot of men worry that there could be a physical problem behind it.
And when they worry about something like that, it often gets worse, doesn't it?
That's exactly right. You've hit the nail on the head. The problem is that very often men have difficulty sustaining an erection on a couple of occasions and then start to panic. And the problem is, are they going to be able to perform the next time? And I think the worry over performance then affects the performance. So it's a vicious cycle that gets set up very commonly for men who struggle with getting erections, particularly younger men. So the first thing to say is, don't worry. It's very unlikely at his age that it's anything physical. Sometimes Viagra is helpful in situations like this because it can help give you your confidence back, and I certainly use it in that way with people at times.
Do you tend to use it with older men though? Because I would imagine that a 20-year-old coming to you and asking for Viagra seems a little bit more suspicious than somebody older.
Yeah, although actually, and we don't get a great deal of that, because I don't know whether you're aware, but actually Viagra isn't available on the National Health Service to the majority of people. There's only people with specific conditions who can have Viagra on the National Health Service. So younger people tend not to be looking for it recreationally, as it were, I guess.
Or at least certainly look in other areas, other sources.
Absolutely. No, that's right. I guess the only other thing I'd say to this chap is it's worth just looking at your lifestyle, because the other thing is that actually, if we're stressed, if we're anxious, if we're a bit low or depressed, that often affects our libido and our sexual function. So the sort of things it's really important to do are get out, get some exercise, find some time for relaxation, cut down on alcohol and smoking, and generally try to lead as healthy a life as possible. And that would be a good start, and just don't worry too much.
And as a GP, you get young men and older men coming to you with these problems. Do you think that they're often quite reluctant to talk about it, but you can offer some place for them to air these problems? Do you think that makes a difference?
Always. I mean, every young man I speak to kind of has the courage, or plucks up the courage to talk about it. I think is helped by just hearing a little bit about the fact that he's not alone. And not only isn't he alone, but actually for the most part it is a psychological issue which can be quite easily overcome.
Jonty, very good advice, as always. If you have a similar problem, we hope we may have given you some help. But remember, it's always best to go and see your own doctor for medical advice. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with more health questions and answers.